Hi everyone, it's Pampered Chef Julie. Whoa, it says I have a low connection. Again. Alright, so hopefully this is working. It says I have a low connection, which I'm not sure why, but I'm making triple berry pie tonight, and I know I've come on before to show everybody how to make pie crust. But I just thought I'd quickly come on and do that again. So in my bowl here, I have 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, and then 1 cup of the Crisco shortening. And I cheat because I love just buying the sticks of shortening. They're measured out already in a cup instead of buying the big thing. So that's what I do, is just buy that stick of shortening. So that's all I need right now for the crust, and I'm going to use one of the crust cutters, and I'm just going to, cut in. So this is the basic recipe that I use. A lot of people have different recipes for crust. I mean, everybody, sometimes you have a recipe that's passed down from generation to generation, and that's what I am using. It's my grandmother's recipe. My mom has used it, and I've used it all the years I've made pie. So hi everyone. Hi Mary. Hi Jana. Hi, Nikki. So I am, thank you. I have a recipe that I'm just actually, like, for the berry part, I'm using I have our stainless bowl here, and it's full of just, it's nice because the measurements are on the side, so I just dumped in some frozen berries, and it's just a triple berry mix, so even, I think it's actually quadruple berries. So it's got strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. And I actually picked out some of the really big strawberries because I wanted them all to be kind of more uniform in size with the other stuff. So that's what I have in there. And I threw in about a cup, because I have almost 8 cups of fruit that I'm going to put in the pie. I like my pies to be really full. So then I threw in about 1.5 cups of sugar, a little bit less than that, of sugar, and then about a 1/3 cup, a little more than a 1/3 cup of flour, just to have that together. So, and I'm just going to be cutting in, again, right here in our bowl, I'm just cutting in the flour with the salt and the lard, or the Crisco shortening. I just use the regular Crisco shortening. I don't use, like, the flavored. A lot of people will use butter and just different things. I have a friend that makes my recipe, but she uses a cup of butter instead of the shortening, which is, she says it works out great. So that's fine. So, whatever pie crust recipe that you want to use with, your pies is great. But that's what I use. And it's ready. You can tell it's ready when it gets all, like, I don't know if you can see the dough. It's kind of chunky, almost like peas, a little bit heavier than that. So about the size of peas, it's all kind of sticking together. And I'm just using our blender, our pie crust blender that we have here at Chef. Hi, Carol. And so it's about ready. It's ready there. So the next step is to add some water, and you always add cold water to your pastry. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And so it's supposed to be a 1/4 cup, and you could use a liquid measuring. I just have a 1/4 cup, regular 1/4 cup here. So 1/4 cup of water. And that water, that 1/4 cup of water, you can sometimes use more or you can use less. So depending on the moisture of the day, sorry, I have to get a fork. Forgot to get a fork. Depending on the moisture of the day, you might want to use a little bit less. If it's a real humid day, if it seems like it's a dry day, you can add just a little bit more. So just toss this all together, and as you can see, the dough is really starting to, come together. And so you just get this all kind of stirred up, and I always just use a fork. Okay, and it's ready. So just like that, you have pastry for your pie. And so typically what I'll do then is I have a floured board, and let me show you this. Hi Betty, hi Eloise. This is no longer available. This is never a Pampered Chef product, but it is the product that I've used for years, and it's what's really revolutionized my pie making. It's called the No Mess Dough Disc. But it has a cloth, you can see here, it has a cloth, stretchy cloth over it. And so I just have this all floured already and ready for my dough. There are different dough discs. I saw one on Amazon. I have no idea what it's like, but it does have a cloth cover. It seemed like the cover on it was more of a, almost like a canvas or something like that. I mean, I would be interested to try one of those, but since my dough disc is still going strong, I'm just going to be using this. So then I just form this into a ball like this, and I kind of flatten it out, and then I'm just going to take my fork, and I just need to get about half of it, okay, because I'm making a double crust. And so so this is what I'm going to use for my bottom of my crust. Now when you're rolling out dough, you want to make sure you have your bottom surface nice and floured. I know that Pampered Chef does have a pastry, we do have a pastry mat that you can use. Wow, Betty's down in Mexico and she's watching from Mexico. Woohoo! What's the weather down there, Betty? Hi, Stacy. But when you are, I kind of lost my train of thought. Okay, so with your floured surface, just gonna roll, and I tend to spin my board just so I can get a nice even roll. And tonight I usually use my grandmother's rolling pin, but I thought tonight I would show you guys our marble rolling pin, and oh my, I'm pretty impressed. It's nice and heavy, and I'm not having to put any pressure to roll this dough out, and it's rolling out really nice and even. I don't know if you can tell that, but just with a nice swipe and just keeping it nice and floured, this is really a nice pin. It's made of marble, so if you're working with like sugar cookies and stuff like that where you want to keep your dough cold, you could totally put your rolling pin into the fridge and keep it nice and chilled so that when you're working with your dough, it'll stay chilled. So that's a really great benefit. Okay, so we're just going to roll this out. I just need it to be big enough to go into the bottom. Woo! Sorry. I bumped my camera. Sorry about that, everyone. Did you get dizzy? I just needed to roll it out enough so that it'll fit in the bottom of my pie plate. And because I do make big pies with a lot of fruit, I use the 10-inch or the 9.5-inch pie plates. It's just the Pyrex. This one is, you can tell what size they are. Hi, Gordon. You can tell the size they are on the bottom. So this one is actually a 10-inch pie plate. So I always use these Pyrex 10-inch ones. So now to get the crust into the pie plate, I'm going to take the rolling pin. I don't know, I'm hoping you can see all this. I see all your comments, so I'm not seeing all of the stuff, but you just take your rolling pin, and you're just going to, I just roll that dough right up onto the rolling pin. I bring my pie crust, my pie plate down, and then I just roll it right out like that. So it's a little bit different with this heavy rolling pin. I just noticed that. So okay, so so then the pie crust is all in there, and I just am getting it all so that it's kind of adhering or lining the edges without any gaps. And you can see, like right here, I have a little bit of where it's not a little bit of a gap here. So you can tell I need just a little bit of crust there. So I'm just going to take I should have grabbed a knife. I'm just going to take my fork and just pierce off a piece where it's a little bit long on this side. So about that much. And I'm just going to bring it over, and I'm just going to piece that right there. Just kind of pat it in there. When I get the other piece of the crust done, hi Lisa! When I get the other piece of the crust done, oops, my battery's running low, then that will all come together just fine. So now I take my filling and I dump it in. Okay, so the filling part just goes in, and like I said, this is just sugar, and this is some flour. And hold on just a second. Hey Ryan, I know Ryan's down here. I'm gonna get him to get me some butter. Can you give me a stick of butter from the fridge, hon? Okay, so I forgot to grab the butter. So there's all of this sugar and flour that's going to get melted in. So now we take a little bit of butter and we're going to dot the top with some butter. And take about 2 tablespoons, give or take, and then just dot the top with butter. And just break some pieces off. Now that butter is going to melt down and react with the juices and the flour that I have put in along with the sugar, and it will thicken. So that's why you dot with butter. So I have before forgotten the butter when I've made a pie, and totally had like, oh no. So I kind of at the end when I'm done with a pie, I cut like slits in for the steam to come out. So I stuffed butter in the slits. So so don't be despairing if you forget the butter on the top. So okay, so that's the pie right here, and then I'm going to take and roll out that other piece. So that's what it looks like. Okay, and there's a little piece there. So now I'm going to put a little bit more flour again on my board because I've already used up some of that flour. And I have this other piece right here ready to go. Hi Janelle. Hi Carol. And we're going to again use our rolling pin, our nice marble rolling pin, and we're going to start to roll. And again, I like it to be as uniform as I can, so I am going to spin my board. If you don't have something that you can spin, just using your rolling pin in different angles does help. So I need the dough to come a little bit more this way, so just kind of roll. This is a really nice rolling pin. If you're looking for a rolling pin, this marble is really very nice. I need just a little bit more flour, sorry. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I had a sad day today. We had a funeral at church, and young woman passing away from breast cancer eventually. So, but anyway, it was a sad day. But today, making pies for church tomorrow because we're having a pie social after church. So I'm going to be making a rhubarb pie tomorrow morning. So I love rhubarb pie. Betty says, how have you lost so much weight with making pies? All right, Betty, I expect to see you. So she's asking me about how I've lost weight, and I am on Weight Watchers. So I've lost, y'all can celebrate with me, I've lost 24 pounds in 10 weeks. So it's been awesome. Has not always been easy, but I've been very consistent, and I'm actually loving the program. So I needed to make some health changes because of some stuff that my doctor, wonderful Dr. Dana, saw in my labs, and so it was time to make some changes. So I've been not eating pie and ice cream. Other people are eating pie and ice cream. So anyway, so that's what I've really kind of been up to. Yes, I'm still doing my Pampered Chef business. Yes, I'm still working at Figgy's part-time. I still have Ryan at home, which I'm so thankful for. My husband's busy working, and he's home most nights. And we're just doing life, just like everybody else does. So, but anyway, so I'm so excited about my weight loss journey, and I've just been doing the app. I haven't been going to like meetings or anything like that. So, so it's been fabulous for me. So. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so there. Okay, so I just, while I was talking, crimped the edges. I didn't really even talk to you about how to do that. But I just took the dough and rolled it under and squeezed. I don't do all this fancy stuff. If you wanted, you could totally do a cute, like, you could crimp and use a fork or, you know, that kind of stuff. You can, we have little shape cutters. You can cut shapes. There's a lot of different things you can do there. And I'm going to have you hold on just a second. Hold on. And the last thing I do is take just a pinch of sugar and just sprinkle over the top like this. Okay? And then I just take a knife and I put in the initial R, or this is actually going to be a B because this is a berry pie. So I just kind of dot in a B. This is what I do for berry. So I know that this is going to be the berry pie. So when I take the other one, it will be rhubarb. So I'll make an R. And then I just take little knife and cut in slits for all that steam to release. And that's it. So it didn't take very long to throw together the pie. And we're going to throw this in the oven. I put a Pampered Chef pie crust shield on the edges so that they'll stay, not burned or anything. They'll stay nice and light. And so it goes in the oven about 45 minutes to an hour, about 400 degrees. And then we'll have a wonderful pie to take to church tomorrow. So it's so wonderful to have this time with all of you. I hope you have a great night. And, throw me a line once in a while. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Bye, everyone.